move anything or whatever, it's gotta land on the boat.
Hey, was Rich here at the last meeting? I think they got those two switched. I didn't think Rich was here at the last meeting.
Rich was not here for the last.
Yeah, so Rich was not here, Bill was. So those two gotta get switched.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here. Or this would have been no meeting.
Yeah, sorry I'm late. My daughter had other plans.
You know what they did the first time?
Just one around.
Only American. This should be pretty simple, quick.
Everything is on that.
So I want to
How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Busy day, yeah. How about you?
Pretty good.
You busy too? How
Yeah,
about you?
good to see you.
Good to see you.
You gonna get your skates back out here pretty soon?
New? Not anytime soon.
Wings are looking for some people.
I know. They'll be alright this year, I promise.
Alright. Alright, it's after 7 and we've got our quorum, so we'll go ahead and I'm going to call the meeting to order. First item is the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Any changes to the agenda? Ross, any additions or deletions?
No.
I'll move to approve the agenda. Is there support?
Support.
Motion support for the agenda. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? All right. Approval of the minutes. We got one minor change, or a couple minor corrections, Ross. Rich was not at the last meeting and Bill was.
Yep.
So we can make that quick change. Other than that, I don't have anything else. Anyone else have anything on that? All right. Move to approve the agenda
As amended.
as amended. Is there support?
Support.
Support. Okay, motion and support as amended. All in favor? Aye. And anyone opposed? All right. All right, tonight we're gonna do, we do have a public hearing, so there will be 3 calls to the public, kind of like we've done in the last 2 meetings. The first call to the public is for items that are on the agenda, the 2 items that are on the agenda only. Then we will go in, when we go into the public hearing, you'll have an additional opportunity to speak about the item that the public hearing is about specifically. And then on the last call to the public, you can talk about anything that you would like to bring up to our attention. So with that, who would like to go first for the call to the public?
Is it for the public?
Or not call the public, who would like to go first for the, oh yeah, call to the public for the first one.
Is it for the regular meeting?
It's the first call to the public.
Okay.
Yeah, just stuck on the agenda.
Yeah.
See,
Well, I will. My name's Jeanette and I live in Tyrone Township. On the agenda is the meeting minutes from your last meeting on June 11th, correct? You just approved them. In that meeting, you moved to schedule the public hearings for each of 3 ordinances, solar, wind, and battery storage. You said you wanted the public hearings to be held in July. I'm just wondering why these public hearings haven't been scheduled yet, and when they might be scheduled. And I know that you're not supposed to, or you're told not to answer questions, but this is a pretty basic question. I mean, the public wants to know why these public hearings have not been scheduled. Okay, no answer. These 3 ordinances all have moratoriums attached to them, and you guys have all, and the supervisor especially, keep telling us how serious it is to have moratoriums on these things, that if it looks like you're not actively working on them, that the township could get sued. So again, you're not actively working on them, and they're sitting there waiting to go to a public hearing. I don't understand why it hasn't been scheduled yet. But I'm not going to get an answer. Okay, so there's been no public notification on those hearings. I'm just wondering if you're waiting, or someone's waiting until deep into the summer when people have forgotten about this, when people are away on vacation so they can't attend. I'm really wondering what the holdup is. Also, at the last board meeting, you voted to place a or the board meeting voted to place a moratorium on the medical marijuana facilities that Kurt was at. I'm wondering why that's not on the agenda, because there's a moratorium for you guys to get that ordinance in line. And that was a couple of weeks ago, we'll go another couple of weeks, so there's a month wasted. So, any comment at all?
Nope.
Nope. No, and no comment. Okay, well then I'll just ask it again, just to make sure everybody knows. So, solar, wind, and battery storage, the agenda meeting minutes on June 11th, they stated during the meeting that they wanted these public hearings to be scheduled in July, and also the lawyer said that these should be available to all of us, and we should be able to see the map. That is another concern. I still can't find that map. I can't find what the latest is. I don't know where you guys keep things, but so again, I think it's pretty interesting that we're being told that moratoriums are so serious, but yet somebody's sitting on this.
Steve, I can address some of these if you'd like.
That would really be nice. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Just for clarification.
Thank you.
When it comes to the public hearings, it is not a necessary motion. They are to be scheduled, and they will be scheduled, but unfortunately, we did not have everything that we needed from Carlisle Workman in terms of all of the various additional ordinance sections that need to be amended. So
Well, this is not done.
So we got that yesterday, and we will be scheduling that likely for next month's meeting, which will be as soon as possible time. We have to get additional notifications out to all properties that are within the notification radius, within 300 feet of the proposed overlay district.
Okay.
So we can get all of that together. Everything should be available for hopefully the next meeting.
Awesome. Thank you.
The next question was?
Well, so then I'm wondering, are we going to get to see those amendments before you go to public hearing?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep,
so
they
there'll
will
be
be
another
posted, they
meeting
will be
yet,
available.
and then you'll say now on this new, all the amendments.
So not formally a meeting, but they will be posted and they will be available.
But how do we get to make public comment on the amendments and stuff then?
During the public hearing.
Okay, that is very unsatisfactory, I'm just saying, because there's,
That's a legal process.
I understand legal, but I'm concerned about what is the right thing to do.
All right, Ross, we're gonna move along. Who else would like to speak?
But I think some of my time was taken up, but whatever.
Thanks, Ross.
Thank you, Ross, I appreciate it.
Anyone else? All right, I'm gonna close the first call to the public. And at this point, I'm gonna make a motion to suspend the normal planning commission meeting and move into the public hearing.
Support.
Motion and support. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay. So now I will read the public notice. A request by Terry and Brenda Costigan for an increase in the permitted detached accessory building floor area up to a maximum of 1,200 square feet, 1,200 square feet requested, subject to compliance with the percent lot coverage, placement, height standards, Article 20, section of Regulations 21.02, G, 1A through B of the zoning ordinance. The property is located at 10519 Running Lake Point, Fenton, Michigan, 48430. Parcel ID is 4704-09-204-010, zoned LK1, Lakefront Residential. All right, review of the application. Ross, do you have anything on this?
If you're in the packet
Yeah,
document,
let
when
me
you scroll down, it's a pretty common request, we get them all the time. Increase in accessory structure size from 800 to 1,200. This request also did require a zoning board of appeals setback variance, which was granted as of last evening. So that part has been taken care of as far in terms of placement. The only reason for this public hearing is to hear if there are any public comments or concerns regarding the size of the structure that is proposed.
All right, thank you. All right, now we can receive any public comments on this application request.
Is the applicant here?
Yes.
Is the applicant here? Yeah, would probably be best if you came up first. Kind of just explain to us what you want to do and,
Sure. So, my name's Terry Costigan, right? We purchased the property about a year and a half ago. We did a significant renovation of the house itself. The neighbors were thrilled with that. Working on a deck now, and the next step after that will be an expansion of the garage as we show on the documents here in front of you. It's currently, if you go down to the pictures, you can see the current building, right? It's just an old garage that's probably as old as I am. And the intent is to expand that into our property further by about 25 feet to take us up to the 1,200 max. Okay.
any feedback from your neighbors?
I have talked with all of them and there's no issues.
Okay. Are any neighbors on this here today? Seeing none? Okay, they must not have a problem with it because they were notified. Thank you.
They were here last night, they were fine with it.
Would anyone,
No, they weren't here.
Oh, they were, that was the other one.
No.
Does it-
But they do,
Yeah.
and they're supportive.
I don't know why I'm having such a hard time. Okay, there we go. Would anyone like to speak on this matter of the public hearing? All right, seeing none? Any planner or planning commission members' comments on this? I'm going to make a motion then to move back into the regular meeting and out of the public hearing.
Support.
Motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? All right. Well, look, I mean, this kind of reminds me of the one we had last month where we have no comments from neighbors. No one seems to have a problem with it. It looks like it's going to be actually making the property nicer and fixing up that old barn or that old garage. I drove by there today and it does look like it could use a little TLC for sure.
Yeah, it hasn't been the highest priority.
So, well, and I'm assuming that you're going to match the
That is
siding.
the intent.
Yeah, that'll
My
be,
wife will let me do otherwise.
I think that would be a very nice addition to that area. Any other comments?
Yeah, how close are you gonna be to that power line?
Well, more specifically, cable, power, or home?
Well, the power is the top two, but isn't there a line that runs right in front, like
Right there?
this red dash
The phone
here?
line.
Yeah, that right there, yeah.
Yeah,
we're gonna be about a foot away. I talked to the county about that in terms of the requirements for clearance to power lines, and they want at least a foot, but this is, he said, this isn't a power line, it's a phone line. And
Right.
there are no requirements, but we're gonna give it at least a foot.
I don't know how you're getting away with that with Livingston County. Props to you.
Well, it's a big, heavy, I could have that line raised, but we can construct around it,
Oh, there's
hit the
those
minimum,
pictures.
so you should be okay.
Any further comments? I'll recommend to the board that, this has to go to the board, right, Ross?
Nope.
No.
This is unapproved.
Okay, then I'll move to approve the request for the accessory structure. Size
Support.
increase. Motion and support, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Kurt? Anyone opposed? All right, you're approved, good luck.
Thank you.
I have a friend that lives 2 doors down from you, so I have to check it out over there.
What's that?
Paul Rolowitz, he's one of my buddies, so
Oh, okay, well, give us.
I'll be keeping an eye on it.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, have a good night. All right. The next request we have is, let me find that. It is the Carly temporary dwelling during construction of what looks like the new house. Is there someone here on that? The applicant not here?
Well, I can speak to that.
Okay, Ross, fill us in.
So, pretty basic request. This part of the ordinance is designed for like a trailer or temporary office building, like a construction trailer during construction of your principal structure. We have received many requests for just inhabiting a structure that is inhabitable on the property while building a new one, as long as they provide a written agreement and a financial guarantee as the board decides to allow for them to do that. They provide a site plan that is substantially in compliance with the zoning ordinance requirements. It would in fact bring the property more into compliance, and without saying, I mean, it is going to be a new home as opposed to the kind of weathered older dwelling there. This is going to be a recommendation, so whether it is in favor or against, it will be a recommendation to the township board to make the ultimate decision, at which time the township board can discuss arrangements when it comes to a written agreement and financial guarantee. It's also worth noting that typically these applications require health department approval for connection to well and septic, but we have verification that it is in fact a habitable dwelling that does have a current well and septic hookup, so it's a non-issue at that point.
So they're just gonna live in the existing house when they build a new one and then tear down the existing
Correct.
house, and,
Yep.
like they did on Denton Hill. So if we recommend approval of this, we have to also recommend the other points, Ross?
So technically, no, but yes, you should. Just as far as, if you were to recommend approval, then it would be approval conditional upon township board review and approval of a written agreement and or financial guarantee per the zoning ordinance standards.
Those two items, written agreement and the financial guarantee, those
Correct.
two items.
All
Okay.
that you're looking at today is whether or not they are connected to well and septic, which they are, as well as whether or not the proposed dwelling is going to comply with the minimum setback lot coverage and other zoning requirements, which it does. So yeah, the next step, if you're in favor, would be to move this along to the township board for review.
Any comments from the commission?
I guess just one question. This states that they're currently living in the house on the property, correct? Okay. At the time when the new house is finished, what's happening to the old one?
Demolished.
Are they demolishing it?
Yes, that
Okay.
is required by the ordinance.
Right.
That's without even saying, yeah.
It's just that it doesn't show that on the application, and I was assuming that's what it was, but
Yep. Well, a recommendation for approval would include that condition
Yeah.
as well.
But I would move to recommend to the township board approval of the request for the temporary structure, subject to the written agreement and the financial agreement per the ordinance.
support.
Motion and support. Any further discussion?
You forgot the house being.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's included, that is required. Yeah.
Anyone opposed? All right, there's no old business, so we're moving right along today. We'll go into the second call to the public, and come on up, and if there's anything you want to talk about, come on up.
By the way, you didn't call the public for the second public hearing, but that's all right, I didn't have a comment.
No, we did.
Did you?
No one.
The second one is not a public hearing.
Oh,
Oh, was it? I thought it
The
was.
first time is a public hearing.
Because I know we had two things, I thought it was carryover from.
The first one is a public hearing,
My
by
mistake.
commission approval. The second one is a standard agenda item. And
No, I just thought they both, I wanted the ZBA, that's, I thought they were both carrying over tonight.
Oh, no, this is separate, this one.
All right, here we go.
Thank you.
Okay, cool.
Go ahead, Chris.
I'm always troubled, why, I know you're not gonna answer this question, but why is there never any old business, even though we can quote a lot of old business that you should be discussing? Is it just a pick and choose? I mean, we've got, Jeanette pointed out during the first public comment about the moratoriums, we'll be working on the ordinances below those moratoriums. Is there any actions on the master plan? I heard there were revisions happening again to the master plan, wondering if that master plan then needs to go back to the county and then have another public hearing, all of those things. So I'm not quite sure exactly on how there's never ever any old business, but there seems to be a lot of things that you should be discussing that appear to me to be like old business. Maybe they're called something else, but it's disappointing because we try to come to the meetings and hear about the progress, and it just seems to be weeks, and if you miss a meeting, then it's another 2 weeks, then it's another month, then it's another 2 months, and then suddenly something appears that was old business before, but it's never listed until you're ready to do something with it. I'm not really sure. So it's confusing. It's understandably, it doesn't give us as residents an understanding of whether there's work being done or why it's parked, or if it's parked, there's no list anywhere available on the website. And it just doesn't seem to be a very profitable thing, a way of communicating. And the reason I bring it up is because communicating to the residents, there's this big statement on your website that says there's misinformation about communicating for the board and the planning commission. And so we have direct evidence on the board. I've filed a complaint. Nobody's ever got back with me on that complaint, lack of communication. We've tried getting emails from you, Jeanette, and they've gone unanswered. You guys even talked about that. So there's not an effort to communicate when we communicate through the recommended channels. So that's a complete horse hockey and a lie on your website that you're making these efforts and that you communicate. You're claiming false and misleading information. You need to go talk to the board, and you, Schultz, as the board representative, need to take this forward and get that removed immediately, because we have lots of evidence that you don't communicate to us through the normal channels. Lots of it. Lots.
All right, thank you for your comment. I'm gonna see if I can
Did I
get
say
this.
lots?
I'm gonna see if I can get this to work this time. All right. Who else would like to talk? Let's see if we can get this timer to go. If not, I've got my watch, but who would like to go next?
Scott Dietrich, White Lake Road. I just wanted, I know I said this before, and I've been coming to township meetings for a long time. And I fought for myself and I fought for other people. My very first home I bought in Fowlerville. The courts made it possible for a sexual offender to move back into the home next to mine. I worked afternoon, I was horrified. So I moved. Got away from that situation. I moved over to Hartman Road in Foley. I've lived there for many years, happy as could be. The neighbor sold the house behind me. Person came in and put stockade fences up all around the property, brought Afghan dogs in. It was great. I mean, it was like a puppet show over my fence all the time, barking all the time. I bought a beautiful shepherd puppy, spent a fortune on it. Those dogs dug under the fence and it made that dog so aggressive. I ended up moving. The dog was so aggressive I had to put it down. I keep moving. I keep moving. Okay. I moved over to White Lake Road. Bought an $85,000 piece of property. And I thought it was in a nice quiet area. So then the herb farm comes in here and asks, well, can we do this and do that and have weddings in our barn? And they found out what they had to do. Well, they just went off and did it on their own without even getting township approval. Next thing I know, I didn't know this was going on at the time. I'm in bed on the weekends and all I hear is blasting music on weekends, trying to sleep. And you can hear the people's voices, because they're loud talking over and it's carrying all the way down the road. So once again, I had to fight to get that shut down. So, okay, now comes the Liberty House, okay? And then my neighbor's got one of them in his yard. Guys, this is why people get upset. Why do we have to keep moving? Because other people come in and push us out. This is the norm in the United States of America. And this is why I get angry. This is why a lot of people get angry. It's the marijuana facilities. It's this. And we take it out on you guys because we're not getting on top of it soon enough. I know there's legalities. I know it blows me away. But I mean, if we could just be more transparent a little earlier, give the people in there, because I know there's some things we could be doing to make it easier. I don't know. But this is the frustration with people. They're getting tired of being pushed out everywhere. They're getting tired, you're living on the middle piece of property, off Wakeman Road. We all don't do that. You understand me, Steve. A lot of us are up on the road, so we have to deal with this. So I just want you to understand, we got people on planning commission that chewed me out, says I need psychiatric help. Scott's a dick. I mean, this is Kevin Ross. Okay, this is, I'll make it real quick. This is me
Thanks,
fighting
Scott.
for me and my neighbors. And I don't appreciate Kevin calling me that dick on Facebook.
Scott, thank you. He's not here, so.
No, I understand he's got weak knees, he couldn't
Would
make anything.
anyone else like to make a public comment? Okay.
And Jeanette, Tyrone Township, I echo what Scott says. I appreciate him because he has been fighting for other people and trying to stand up for the little guy, right? Trying to get answers. We're not always right. We ask questions, we don't get answers. So as Chris said, that statement on your website, you should all be available about it. Aware of it, because it states things that are not true. Steve, how many emails have I sent you and you don't answer them? You looked me right in the eye and you said, I will answer your emails, Jeanette, and you don't answer them. And there's many of them are very simple questions and you just ignore them. Last meeting, I was threatened to be silenced. If I didn't stop talking about a certain subject, I wouldn't be allowed to speak at this next meeting. You can't stop me from speaking the truth. It's my right to do so. It's absolutely toxic around here. You guys aren't helping because you've been silent on matters. And because of your silence and the supervisor's inability to address these concerns, something else now has happened that Scott alluded to. And in those comments, I'm being called, accused of being his girlfriend, that I'm a Karen, that I need help, that I need to be spending my time elsewhere. This is somebody appointed that is supposed to represent us, and he's allowed to talk this way. Steve, you said before the meeting that has nothing to do about the planning commission. You know what it does? You're the chairman. I would expect that you try and rein that in and talk to him and say, we don't treat our residents like that. And if the supervisor's not going to do it, I mean, so Steve, you said you can get my email, but you don't check your email. So I guess I'll start using your personal email again. You guys, I asked for an email to be forwarded to you all so that you would know what I was talking about tonight. I also want to know why a commissioner is allowed to sit here on this board after he's made gross, threatening, and harmful remarks against me. And I'm not saying a name. I'm allowed to speak this truth because I have 4 witnesses that heard it. And they will all come forward. And when I brought it up last meeting, someone leaned over to you and said, she's out of order. Really?
You can't attack people individually.
I'm not attacking people.
Don't.
I'm stating the truth.
Don't.
Did I state the truth? Did I lie? Did I attack? No, I didn't. Someone
You attacked
told me. Huh?
You attacked me.
Someone told me that they want to slap me. Someone said, what, I can't say what it was?
Okay, thank you, your time's up.
Why?
Thank
He
you.
took up my
Thank you.
time, and I don't get to speak?
Thank you.
Kurt Schultz, that's
Thank
who it
you.
is.
Thank you.
Everybody knows, Kurt Schultz would like to
Anyone
slap me
else?
across the face
Anyone else?
and have me sit the F down and shut the
And
F up.
seeing that we don't have any, Ross, I don't think we have anything for,
We do, for the workshop.
we do? Good.
What I was speaking to about the upcoming public hearing for the alternate energy, we do have a new document that was received yesterday regarding the updates to all the various ordinance sections. So we should be holding the workshop to just take a look at that before we actually hold the public hearings themselves.
And we don't need to have a quorum for that, so hopefully we get as
Whoever can make it,
many as we
hopefully
can.
we get enough
Because we don't vote on anything.
Yeah, it's not, no actions taken, it's just for informational purposes.
Well, good then, yeah, hopefully as many people can make it
Yep.
next week, Wednesday at 6, not 7.
Wednesday at 6.
Wednesday at 6, okay. Well, good, Nope, so we have that to look forward to and kind of get that handled. Is there anything else?
I want an apology.
Then I'll move to adjourn the meeting, thank you.
I want an
You're done.
apology.
You want to have a nice night.
And Bill, I never attacked you, I said what you said. You said you didn't know the difference between a moratorium and the ordinance. You
I
said,
treat you very respectful.
that's right,
That's all I ask back from you.
that's right. And I'm only repeating what you said, you didn't know the difference. What's that?
Tuesdays are tough for me because my wife's in war. She's finishing her anesthesia right now, so Tuesdays are just.
I get it. Come when you can.
I'm like
We really
super
needed
mad.
it every day because.
No, I know,
because
I
it
just-
couldn't make it.
That's why I was
Yeah,
late.
because otherwise we'd have to cancel the meeting.
Yeah, so.
Tuesdays have just been bad, I just wanted to let you know.
No, I appreciate making it, and if, you know, even rolling right at 7, it's still great.
Okay.
We get our quorum, so that's
All
good.
right, yeah.
So if for some reason, I know Ross told me you're gonna be here, so I kinda